Hello, we are live. Somebody check me out. See how we sound. Yeah, I think we are.
I'm a little
We
delayed
did
on
it.
my phone. Oh, hey, look at that! Ooh, I love that little transition there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
That was
that's
cool.
Ryan put that
That was
together.
pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
Pretty
He
snazzy.
runs a class act organization. Hello and welcome to. Let me get my script. We start that over again. By the way, I'm streaming today,
Glad
not
you're working.
Ryan. Ryan is out sick today. Boltzmann, we'll work with Boltzmann a little bit later, but right now, Ryan's out sick, so I'm having to stream because he's the one that normally streams. So bear in mind with that information, if there's any issues, just let us know in the chat. We'll get to it when we can get to it, depending on how big it is. But hello and welcome to Black Dragon Roleplay, where we are not professional voice actors, we are not gaming gods, we are just a group of friends that have been brought together through the love of story who want to share our tabletop adventures with all of you. Few things before we start our session proper. We are so glad that you are here watching us live on Twitch. We appreciate all the support that we have on Twitch. If you are new here and want to keep up with the campaign, please drop us a follow. If you'd like to support us, then there is a subscribe button. Drop your prime, sub for some emotes, support the stream. We greatly appreciate everyone who supports the stream. Thank you for doing that. If you want to keep track and interact with us when we are not on stream, hit us up on Discord. The link is in the info box below. If you can't make it to watch us live on Twitch, we've been posting our weekly shows on our YouTube. Everything we do here on stream on Twitch goes live to our YouTube channel. Black Dragon RP on YouTube is where you can find all of that content. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This last week on Sunday, we did a Moose Talks. You can still see that in the VODs if you want to take a look at that. I had a nice interview with Ryan, who plays Dante, talking about his character, talking a little bit about what he thought of the campaign and some insights on him. We also played some Phasmo after that, but it's a good little time there discussing the campaign, and hopefully you can watch that as well. This week, I'm not quite sure what we're doing. I haven't planned for July yet because it kind of snuck up on me, but we will do something, and maybe it's time for another one of our ranked. Do either movies or video games or something like we did that before. So we'll...
Oh no.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It'd be so much fun. Right, guys?
Maybe we should reduce it to top 3.
Yeah, we'll figure out some We'll change the ram. That was like a 4 hour thing. So, let's get to our recap. Episode 20, Stealing the Show. Our heroes talk again to Professor Jeremiah Cobbles, who offers a more complete picture of the ring, the casino, and the security. The party is undecided on the proper course of action, but some subterfuge and roleplay to make it to the third-party VIP section will be necessary, but who will be doing what seems to be the biggest hang-up. After a vision prompts Camiel awake, she notices a flapping noise mimicking that from her dream, coming from outside of her window. She investigates as it moves to the roof, and as she tries to get a better vantage point, Camiel is forced to take flight, having fallen from her third-story window. Once on the roof, she is introduced to her new mount, Atheon, a celestial phoenix, a mythic creature summoned to her side as a gift from her patron, Sister Ava. Delilah is able to get special seats to watch the first round of the King's Battle, with her lieutenant fighting in the first match. The group makes their way to the arena, where Dante is able to spot a young would-be thief and deter him from taking advantage of Camiel's coin purse with a glance. Once in their privileged seats at the Colosseum, the battle begins to much fanfare and circumstance. The entire thing is captivating to watch until the group notices in the should-be-empty King's throne sits a large creature with ram horns on their shoulders, black flowing robes, sitting and watching the action below, patiently strumming their fingers. With the party's full attention on the figure, no one else in the crowd able to see them, it becomes worrisome. Emmy cast Message to try to communicate with it, but any magic being used on it seems to be dispelled or counterspelled. At the peak of the battle, in the blink of an eye, all of the party members are drawn together in a dark void with this creature in the middle. It reveals itself to be the Shadow Queen, as seen previously from the Brotherhood of Suns, and tells the party, "You are chasing ghosts. You are better leaving the dead in tombs before you awaken something you can't control. In just over 200 days, the 1,000-year debt will be paid by choice or by force." In the same instant, they are back at the Colosseum, cheers echoing for Delilah's lieutenant, who was the last man standing. Quickly, they search for signs of the Shadow Queen. They seem to have gone without a trace. And that's kind of where we are now. We are still in the Colosseum. You guys have had this group vision, this group encounter with the Shadow Queen, and as it kind of fades away, you are still standing there. You do a quick search, scan of the area, looking to see if you can find anything else, find any remnants of this, Camille, the smell, this smell that you get around evil creatures has kind of dissipated and is no longer nearly as strong as it was when this creature was sitting right next to you. And Camille and Saoirse, your vision or your kind of take a moment to meditate, and you look around trying to decipher if this creature is still around in some ways. You had seen it previously, and you wanted to make sure that it was no longer around, and you do not sense this presence anymore. That primeval awareness is not activated. You guys have talked a little bit with Delilah. But as you continue to look around the stadium, and slowly the crowd begins to lessen its roar and becomes a loud mumbling, most people starting to sit down. You look around, and as the commotion begins to fade, you look at Boltzmann, and he is still staring to your left, in the direction of the platform. Roll a perception check, everybody.
Oh no.
Okay. Perception. Right.
How does a nat 20 sound?
Wow.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Yes.
We sacrificed.
Like, we could totally just run with that instead.
Oh
Actually,
my god.
I can't see my rolls at the moment.
I
Roll
don't
20 is
see
still
your
loading
rules.
up.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saoirse,
I'm
you,
looking at you here.
as Branimir and Camille kind of go back to looking, talking amongst themselves, distracted by what they've seen, they sit down. Boltzmann is still standing. Saoirse, you notice that Boltzmann is still staring across the way, now no longer staring at the platform, but past it to a similar VIP section on the other side of the platform. You kind of scan in his direction. You see, Saoirse definitely sees this. You see a figure, short, stocky, dwarvish build. You see long black hair pulled back, clean, slick in the front, tight ponytail in the back. He's wearing a black uniform, similar to some of the officers that you've seen, but not Crown's Guard. Saoirse, you know this to be Vanguard officer, similar to what you've seen from the captain of the Talon Force, but the insignia is different. The insignia that you see here, especially with your nat 20 there, the insignia is something you've seen before on Boltzmann. A skull surrounded partially by chain. The sigil of Underkeep, the Vanguard unit that Boltzmann once belonged.
Do I recognize this dwarf myself? Have I seen the person? Have I seen him before?
No, you've never seen this person. You do see from Boltzmann's face, it is almost white. You just see him kind of staring off at this individual who is now looking back and kind of look puzzled for a moment.
Sirsha would lean into Boltzmann and whisper, "Who is that? It's an old colleague of yours?"
Boltzmann says nothing. As methodically as you've seen him do 100 times before in combat, you see Boltzmann's hand move to his side. And in a motion, you see him unhook his firearm at his side. Preparing.
Gonna reach out and kind of stay his hand. Put my hand on his.
Roll a persuasion check as you reach out and kind of.
Oh, crap.
I wish I could give you a blessing, Rob.
8 with that -1 modifier.
You grab his arm and he instantly pushes your hand away, puts his hand back on his waist at his firearm, and you see his hand, normally steady, holding on to the firearm, his hand now slightly trembling.
Whoever it is, now is not the time.
I will say, because of this action, this push of Saoirse away from him, something very uncharacteristic of Boltzmann, Brandon Camiel and everyone else around sees this.
Boltzmann, what the hell are you doing?
You just see him again staring off. You see this dwarf across the way, especially Saoirse. He's looking directly at Boltzmann, who is now standing, locking eyes. At first, his face is puzzled for a moment, but then becomes rigid, becomes blank.
That dwarf is the Vanguard member?
The dwarf, yes. Saoirse knows this. I would say that you would probably not know this. But you've seen a similar uniform to something like Talon, and it's an officer, so you can tell that. Specifically that the Vanguard, probably not.
Okay.
Considering Brand's and Boltzmann's history together, I suppose, would Brand be able to put 2 and 2 together and realize the identity of this person?
Roll a history check and roll it at advantage because of your knowledge of Boltzmann and him being really the only one to share information with you. There you
Hell
go.
yeah.
There you go.
Nice. All right. Brand immediately. Yeah. Go on.
You see his hand just trembling. As you say, what did you yell out?
It was just Brand basically asking what the hell was he doing.
Okay. Roll a persuasion as well.
Oh no. Oh god. Persuasion. Oh, sorry. Ignore it being on advantage.
It's okay. You see his hand begin trembling at his belt, and his eyes still locked on this dwarf, who now shares this blank stare. Ironweaver.
Can't.
You see, as he stares, there's a beat, a logical stalemate between this dwarf and Boltzmann, not knowing what to do.
Can I put my hand? I'm not sure where we're all sitting, how we're all seated. Am I able to get like my hand on his back or his shoulder? Because I know we're not as close as the others,
Mhm.
but we've spent all this time together, going over our notes and such, and maybe he needs that level of understanding. But also, Emmy is just very curious and confused. So she puts her hand on his shoulder, and just asks him, "Do you need a minute?"
As you touch him, his eyes blink. He looks at you for a second, and then looks back at Branimir, and then in one movement, basically collapses onto the seat where he was sitting. His eyes now covered by his hand that was at his side now is covering his hand. Ironweaver. That was Ironweaver. Aaron's killer. My former co-worker.
Oh dear.
Oh.
At that, Saoirse would quickly look. What's Ironweaver doing now? She would look over.
Ironweaver, as soon as Boltzmann kind of breaks eye contact, he leans to someone next to him, again, almost shaking off that stupor that he was in for a moment. He leans into someone next to him, a half elf, in similar but not quite as decorated uniform, and then quickly the two make their exit their row, and disappear into the tunnels below the Colosseum. The Illithid told me he was in Ropeburg, but I don't know. I guess I ignored it. Hope that damn bug in my head was lying about that, just like everything else. He should be in the damn bloody base, or better yet in the ground where he deserves. And you just see him staring down at his feet as his hands are covering his head, almost in a bunch here, sitting in the same spot that he was during the rest of the battle.
Can Bran approach Boltzmann?
Yeah.
Or is the seating arrangement a little too tight?
No. You guys are close.
Alright. Bran will kind of move over to Boltzmann, knowing full well the history between himself and Ironweaver. He will place a comforting but firm hand on Boltzmann's shoulder. I know what you're feeling, Boltzmann, but let me tell you from first-hand experience. Vengeance just isn't the way.
He does acknowledge you. He looks to your side, putting his head back down. Seemingly...
Maybe this is...
Hmm?
She was just gonna say, maybe with the battle over and all, maybe it's time to step out a minute, get some fresh air.
Agreed.
You say that, and he looks back over. He kind of half pulls to one side, looking again back across, and no longer seeing him. Gives a sigh.
No, it's not the best answer. It's probably not what you want to hear right now. Sometimes we want everything happening all quick, but some things take time and just a little bit of thought, just a little bit of planning, can't just make a dress out of nowhere.
Oh, I definitely have plans.
If
What do
anyone
you
does,
mean
I'm
by
sure
that?
it's you.
I'm sorry. What do you mean by that, Boltzmann?
Kind of clears himself, studies his posture, moving himself back upright, trying to give more composure than he had seen. It's all right. He won't try anything. Not yet. We'll be fine. It's just something I have to deal with sooner or later.
You don't have to deal with anything that you don't want to deal with. We could just leave right now, Boltzmann.
It's up to you. If you'd like to stay and watch, it's fine.
He already saw you. We don't know what he's planning to do, but if all of you want to stay and watch the savagery going on, you could go ahead and do that. Me and Branimir here will stay watch. How's that sound?
It's fine. Fine. Looks up,
Right.
looks around. Roll an insight check, Camille.
Okay. Oh, got insight. All right. Come on, baby, please. Motherfuck you!
You can tell he's distressed.
Shit.
He was upset by something. Something bothers him. Yeah.
Yeah,
How's it
shit.
now?
Gosh darn it. I was actually going to roll an insight check, but
Go ahead
probably
and
would've
roll
been
an insight check.
same way. All right. Good.
Emmy's kind of torn between wanting to stay and watch the rest of the show and then like also taking care of her friend.
As a 16.
So you can definitely tell that this has kind of staggered him in a new way. And we've seen this. You've seen this before, and you've seen this previously with him and the Illithid, where he becomes he puts on his brave face of normality, even though you can tell that inside of his head is just processing every single detail of what could be done, what should be done, what the best course of action is, and you just see him processing in the background while continuing to try to be as normal as possible and be as social as possible.
You're putting on that face again, Boltzmann. We've traveled together long enough for me to know what that is.
Are you alright, Bran? But I have no other recourse. That's all I can do. Think. Perhaps yes. Perhaps we should go back to the tavern. Maybe that is a better place to be instead of here in the open.
We'll get you a drink while we're there.
Sounds nice. Okay. You guys are able to. Dante speaks up. If I can't do Dante, God bless America. I was better at Emmy last week than Dante this week.
Now this is a knife.
This is annoying.
I have to go
This
back
is-
and listen to you do an Emmy.
Oh, good lord. Yeah. There were some rough entries there. If y'all want, I can stay here with Delilah, and watch. It's not what Dante sounds like at all. But Dante tells you guys that he is willing to stay with stay with Delilah because Delilah is still staying for the second match because her lieutenant will be joining them in the box. So she said she's going to wait. Dante says that he can wait with her, make sure she is safe if you guys want to go back and take care of Boltzmann.
Of course you want to stay with Delilah. Why do you pain yourself so with more heartache? Don't understand.
He shoots you daggers in his eyes. And then says something wittier than I can come up with right now.
Asterisk.
Insert witty
Insert.
comment here.
Give me a minute. I'll come back to it.
Little footnote. Insert something
well-
Ryan would say here.
We'll add it into editing.
Yeah. Ryan, you're doing the dubs for this week. You can add your own voice there. So Dante stays with Delilah as you guys make your way out of the Colosseum. Through the tunnels. Give me another perception check as you guys leave.
Oh man, all these perception checks.
Emmy only slightly begrudgingly left, just because she was very excited to see the rest of the show, but also she probably would have said something that would have incited a reaction of, Emmy, come on now, and then would have left.
Man, these rolls are ass.
Yup, that sounds about right.
Ranger saving the day.
Yeah.
Seriously, you do look around, and within the confines of the tunnels that kind of lead out of the Colosseum, you do a fairly good job looking for the dwarf, for Ironweaver, as you guys make your way out. But you do not see anything about them. There's nothing there that you see as far as them. So wherever they've gone, they don't seem to be going in and out. Because there is one there is one section that you guys have come into, this special gate that you are now heading out. So there's one way in and out of this section that includes the throne, the platform with the throne, as well as the two kind of sections, that the VIP sections that you guys are in. Yours and then the one across where Ironweaver had been. And you do not see them.
And there's still... Sorry.
Yeah, you do not... Even with Saoirse's 19, Saoirse does not see hide or hair of Ironweaver. As soon as Boltzmann broke eye contact, they duck out. Him and one other officer duck out, and you do not see anything from them.
And there doesn't appear to be any sort of royalty to appear on the throne?
No, there are nobles that are on the stage with the throne. You do see like the captain of Ropeburg, the grand, the head of this this area, the top guy. You see him there. But no, there's nobody on the throne. There's only the nobles that you had seen before on the stage.
No Grand Poobah?
No Grand Poobah, no ram horns, nothing of the sort. So you guys are able to walk back. Colosseum wraps around the main structure of this kind of fortress, this ancient structure, the castle, and all of its ancient castle that is there. And you guys walk past the embankment, the bombardments there, and walk past and continue back into town. Where are you guys gonna go?
I think for now, I think the safest option is just to take Boltzmann straight to the inn. Allow him to maybe get a stiff drink and calm his thoughts.
Okay. You guys are able to go back to the boar's nest. You guys, are you, you're able to, there's, tables available. It seems a little bit lighter than it has been in the previous days, just because there's a lot of people still at the Colosseum for the opening festivities and the beginning battles. You guys sit down, get a drink.
On this harrowing occasion, I'd say yes.
I think Saoirse would try to sit with her back to a wall, and she would be watching the door. Just having observed, she's not quite sure what exactly. I think she heard, hearing what Boltzmann said about about Ironweaver. She wants to make sure they weren't followed.
Okay. Roll a either a perception check or a survival check, either one.
It's the same modifier either way, so
Okay.
I'll do perception again. 16.
Yeah. As you guys make your way back, you do not see anyone specifically. You do notice a lot of Crown Guard. You do notice a lot of you'd already seen a lot of different varying uniforms within the Crown's Guard Vanguard, because this town is full of it, full of these are the people that are from this town. This is the main location for most of Crown's Guard. This is the training facilities. This is the home base for a lot of folk. And you do notice a lot of Crown's Guard that are not at the Coliseum. The roads are a lot less than they were, and you don't notice specifically anyone that looks to be following you on your way back. And as you get in, I'll use that as you kind of get into the boar's nest and kind of look around and scan around. You don't see anyone that stands out specifically. You do see there are a few Crown's Guard that are sitting, and you do see one table in the corner of Vanguard, but they seem to be, from what you can tell, they just seem to be sitting and drinking, had already been there when you got there, and continue as you guys are there.
Emmy, when they get settled at the table, Emmy asks, well, this seems like another one of them situations that I am not fully in tune with. Are we really suspecting that we are being followed?
Bran, can you explain it to her, please?
Bran kind of gives an uneasy look at Boltzmann as Bran feels personally uncomfortable with spilling the details of Boltzmann's past, and something that's actually quite dear to his heart. But after, I guess, a reassurance from Boltzmann, Bran would kind of turn to the rest of the gathered party and explain to them basically that, I'm not very good with explaining things, and especially with reverence, but this Ironweaver character is, well, Bran again tilts his head towards Boltzmann and quickly adds, we suspect him of harming or being the one particularly responsible for the death of Boltzmann's significant other. And he hasn't been properly punished.
It's been rewarded.
Oh.
Quite the opposite, in fact.
Was that... Oh, never mind. That's terrible. I mean, had something happened? Was this a... Oh, look at me prying. I guess we just need to know the basics. That's the most important thing. Just, do you suspect that he ain't done yet?
Well, knowing how cunning Ironweaver sounds to be, It wouldn't surprise me if he tried to frame us for something that we haven't done as well.
Like y'all ain't used to that.
Seems to be a growing trend.
I had my suspicions from the start. And she looks back at Boltzmann, like she wants to say something, but for once she kind of holds her tongue. And orders a very large pitcher of this common milk that somebody in the group always seems to have.
Nice call there, Emmy.
I like milk. Well,
So,
we're missing the rest of the show. So, if there's something we can do, he looked real important, that guy. I don't know that there's much we could do to just kind of walk up and say, "Hey, buddy, you owe us a little something, something."
Exactly. As of right now, he has all of Alma on his side because of the uniform that he wears. And who are we?
we don't
Well,
exactly have the best reputation at the moment.
y'all don't. I ain't got no reputation with y'all just yet. Just saying.
By association.
Oh, always that.
Camille hears this and she's been, let's say, drinking her tall glass of yummy milk, and the moment
milk.
Emmy says that, her eyes kind of squint and slowly look towards Emmy, but she doesn't say anything.
I don't think she notices.
Oh, girl, this milk is nice.
It's good milk. It's that strawberry Nesquik milk.
No.
I guess we could talk about the other elephant in the room. You know, the royal type.
Bran heaves a sigh and he tries to recall what they saw back there in the arena when the Shadow Queen seemingly. Was it safe to say that they were seemingly in a different area or like in a different dimension, so to speak, at the time when she was speaking to them?
Roll an Arcana check.
Oh no. Why do I put myself into these situations?
And I'll let Emmy roll as well.
Arcana?
Yo.
My measly one.
Let's see.
Oh god.
Bump that 2 right to a 3.
Wow.
Plus 7. Good lord.
Hey, slowly improving.
Wait, why does it say 22?
Because you rolled a 15 plus 7? Did you have a plus
Oh, I'm
7
looking at the wrong
modifier?
die. I saw a 2 on my roll 20. I'm like, how does 2 plus 7 make 22? That was weird.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
It was probably
22.
my die.
It was.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, with a 22, Emmy thinks about what had happened, and through all the different types of trainings that she has, it felt less like they were instantly moved somewhere and more like they felt like they were instantly moved somewhere. It was something either hallucinatory or something where it was someone managing what their mind's eye saw. And in that moment, it was a projected image of what this was. less so much that that person was physically right there in front of them, but more of a projection of that thought. You do believe that you do believe that the person that was sitting on the throne was there, and for you guys, you saw them there. You don't believe that anyone else saw them there, but again, part of that illusory magic. They were there in the Colosseum. They just weren't. That flash moment that you saw was more illusory than anything else.
She'll explain it using like the very first. She'll explain it looking towards Boltzmann, using the very specific terminology of the different schools of magic and which one she suspects it might have been, breaking it down. And then she'll explain it again for the others using like much more dumbed down layman's terms. That she suspects it's been, she's like it's something like a projection in front of us, as opposed to us physically being elsewhere. She's being cowardly and just showing her pretty face versus showing us her actual pretty face.
Bran furiously nods.
Was
she
she also a projection?
Say it again.
Do we know if she was? Do we know if she was also a projection of some kind, or was she in fact there?
Camille did have traces and did have a sense of her being near, because she felt that evil presence very strongly. So, like I said, she was physically near you guys, maybe not where you.
Oh yeah, Camille shared that last session, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Sorry, I forgot that part. Never mind.
And then I kind of gave you a little bit of that because when you did the primeval awareness right after she vanished, I could tell. I told you that you had a sense of that beforehand, and now it was gone.
Yeah.
So she's nearby, or she was, but a lot of good that does us. But 200 days, that ain't a lot of days.
And what's the debt she's speaking of? Her being cast out?
Wish I knew. Maybe it's something. Might be something the professor knows. If it's some history.
Agreed. But I suppose he would want us to settle his debt first before he speaks of any more histories.
Oh, we talked about two different professors, and Emmy pulls out the ball with the drawing of the professor face in her cartoony drawing. We could start with this professor and then maybe help the other professor or talk to him.
Bran sees the orb. Would it be safe to say?
Yep.
And there's a bit of a grimace on his face as he still isn't convinced that this is a sentient being of some kind, despite what Boltzmann is telling him. And he kind of shrugs his shoulders a little bit. I mean, if you think that'll help.
If you have any specific questions, you can come on with me.
Into the glass ball.
And Emmy just reaches her hand out to him.
The ball.
To Bran.
One second.
Oh, okay.
Do you take her hand?
I sheepishly, yes.
Okay.
Her gloved hand.
Gotta find my.
You got a sound effect?
No. Well, yes, but no, I'm not. I'm streaming. I don't got time for that crap today. There we go. Okay. So, you guys are still at the table down in the main room. And Bran, as she's holding out her hand, you do feel kind of silly, and you like, there's no way this can. And as soon as you touch her hand, for a moment, you are just there, but soon the world around you begins to lose focus, almost like you've drunk too much alcohol, and very quickly, the world begins to lose focus and brighten, and for a moment, it's just you, and now the glowing orb, surrounded by an abstract of colors around you. The face that's drawn, that is pointing in your direction, Bran, is starting to go brighter and brighter. In an instant, you're no longer where you are in the Boar's Nest. You are in a new space. You are in a warm wooden study, a small library filled with tables, bookshelves, stacked with books and parchments of all shapes and sizes. You find yourself in an oversized chair, yellow fabric base, orange and red patterns. There's an identical chair next to you, and sitting in there is Emmy. And across from you, there's another chair, identical. An older man, white hair, dark mustache, and a tweed suit. He picks a puff on a short but stout pipe without lifting his eyes from the page of his large book that's on his lap. Oh, hello there, Emmy. How are you this fine? Oh, we have a guest. Hello there. Let me introduce myself. And he pulls out his hand towards you, Bran. Professor Vormund. And you are?
Bran has the palms of his hands pressed into, I guess, the fabric of this chair. As I assume he's still not used to the whole transportation or the teleportation bit that the wizards that we have encountered thus far have been
and even
doing
even
for them.
At that, it's a different feeling. There's within this.
Oh, it's completely different.
It is somewhat. I mean, you're kind of transported, but within a portal, this transportation, you feel like a large sucking out of your chest and pulling and pushing. This is very gentle. In a moment that you touch her hand, the outside world begins to fade. Swirl of colors happens, and gently you are placed into this new surrounding area in this new space, in this chair, in this library of a large library of Professor Vormund's.
I see. Well, with that, he flinches. He flinches almost instinctually from the previous encounters with other wizards, but he is thankfully greeted by something a lot more gentle than previous encounters. And he unclenches his jaw and he opens one eye and kind of looks at the hand that's extended before him, and he just kind of pats his armored chest. That was a lot more pleasant. And he kind of stutters as he reaches forward to grasp the hand of the professor. But Branimir.
Yes, I know. I knew
Pleasure,
that
sir.
already. I knew it already because I do observe things from here. But it's very nice to meet you. I like to say, I like to have a little bit of modicum of civility, I guess. Nice to make your acquaintance. Nice to finally see you here in person. Amy, my dear, you are looking lovely as ever.
Thank you very much, Professor. It was the King's battle today, so I wanted to make sure I looked real nice.
That's very nice, very nice. But I don't know why he's French now, but go with it.
Ooh la la.
He gets all of his. He knows so many languages. He gets them all mixed up sometimes.
That is right. What can I do for you this morning? This afternoon?
Well, I wanted to make sure that my new friend Brandomir had a chance to meet you too. But really, so we had a very interesting encounter today, Professor. And I realize I may not know as much as I ought to about a figure, perhaps an ancient beast of some kind, called the Shadow Queen. She made herself known to us today. To me, anyway. I think the others might know her already a little bit. And she said something a little unsettling. Something about 1,000-year debt about to be repaid in about 200 days. I don't know if that's something you might know a little more about, being as ancient as she is.
Very interesting. You see him wave his hand, and the book that's on his lap kind of is levitated up and is put on the shelf next to him. You see an actual a calendar float next to him into his lap, and as you can see him moving his hands, you see the pages turning automatically. 200 days. Well, that would be. That would be. Let's see. Oh. It's the very interesting day in Tribus history. It is, it would be the 1,000-year anniversary of Tribus itself.
Oh. Well. What kind of debt is... Well, in the founding of Tribus? I mean, is that... Well... She's like trying to put these thoughts together. Like,
Well,
was there some kind of something
course.
that happened in the beginning?
Well, as it's widely known, there are 3 newly established kings of Tribus met to kind of settle and dispute territories. They set up friendly trade routes, agreed on defensive partnerships and treaties. This meeting established the kingdoms of Amma, the kingdom of Ujat, the kingdom of Amma, the lands of Patria. These Tribus Accord meeting allowed each king to focus on their own prosperity without the fears of the other kingdoms. Every year, you celebrate Tribus Day and Heroes Day. That's what these are celebrating. It's this annual event. As far as I know, there is no debt. There is no expiration of the Tribus Accord. There is no... I wonder.
I don't think this will be that common.
Roll
Something
ahead.
tells me this is Arcana based.
Roll a history check for the
Okay.
professor. We found our OP weapon here, and it's just a ball.
With a drawing on his face of a,
Yeah.
of a face.
Yeah. Well, if history is different than the recorded events, there is somewhere that you could find that. Unfortunately, that is beyond my purview. I am simply an amalgamation of different things that have been collected. But if there is one place with any additional information, you could go to the library. The Celeste Library. That would be the information. That would give all of the information, not just the recorded information. Very interesting people, the people of Celeste.
Where is that?
Well, you're very much aware of planar travel, yes? It's its own
Yes.
plane of existence.
Oh, wonderful! Oh, I love it. Always wanted a reason.
So yes, if there
Wow.
is a way to find that information, it would be there. But everything that I say, that everything that I have had, everything that I've read, points to a fairly uneventful, other than, of course, the forming of Amma and the forming of Tribus.
That makes sense. I didn't think it'd be easy information for anybody to find, not if it involves this entity, this Shadow Queen, whatever she is.
That is something that I will look into. I don't have any information on her, but it's something that maybe we can look into.
I'll keep looking for more information, and maybe we can help each other out with this one, Professor.
I agreed. Very good, very good. Bran, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Bran is trying his best to focus on the conversation, but at the same time, his head is slowly turning across the room like an owl, and he's just trying to take it all in. He's almost trying to see if the walls are spherical in some way, as if they've shrunk and are inside the ball, rather than
Roll a
being.
perception check.
Oh no! Oh no! All these perception checks. Where's my perception? There we go. Please! Okay, it's a 16.
So no, the walls are flat. Everything that you see, there are hard edges. There is window and light streaming in, but the detail, as you kind of look in and try to focus on what's outside, you see abstract things. You see almost like you see colors and reflection and movement, but it's almost through another lens, like something else is there. Nothing really there except for space and this kind of other lens of observation, almost looking through like a speckled glass, where you see the images behind it, but they're not clear, and you see the movement, but it's not the same. All the walls are completely normal, the roof completely normal. It does extend out, and you do see it, and you look off to the side. You know, you're up against kind of this one space where it's almost like this little nook, and you see the little window behind you. But in front of you, you see the library, and as you look at it, over it, you don't see like a back wall. You see walls and separations of spaces, but you don't see a back wall. You almost see it kind of going off and trailing off. You do see hard edges on the walls, and it looks like you're in this large space. But you don't see a pure defining wall on that outside edge.
And seeing that, I guess that area that seems to go into a yawning abyss, Bran almost flinches again, and unconsciously he says, "Are we inside a ball?"
Sort of.
Yes, of course. And as you say that, the world again begins to spin. The lights and this color absorbs you. You see Emmy for a moment, and she becomes out of focus. And then once this swirl of color happens again, in a second you are sitting right where you were, within the boar's nest, the crowd surrounding you, sitting at the table, and you kind of release Emmy's hand. You've been gone for about 10-15 seconds on the table.
Emmy just puts Professor Vorman gently back into her pack. And as if nothing had happened, as if we're perfectly normal, she tells Bran, "So that's Professor Vorman, real sweetheart. Now I wonder if there's a library that we could actually look at around here to begin with before we start trying to figure out some planner travel."
Releasing Emmy's hand, Bran kind of stumbles backwards and into his seat, and he just kind of puts his elbows on the table and runs his hands over through his hair as he's trying to comprehend I guess magic. Through all his years, this is like his crash course. Introduction into actually this whole adventure, which only seemed to span only a couple of months, is basically his only encounter with magic before in his entire life. So this is sending him for a trip.
She's like, you all right? You need some milk?
Rand just kind of silently nods and gestures for like a tankard of milk.
She just passes the pitcher over to him and pours him a glass so he doesn't have to pick up the pitcher himself. You'll be all right. It's
Like a
tripping.
damn hamster.
You can ask him a question next time if you want to. He knows a lot.
Brand kind of looks over at Saoirse and Camiel.
Yeah, I think did they when they went into the orb, did they actually go anywhere? If I remember, I know
No.
Emmy's done this before. I'm just trying to remember if they. Okay, yeah, it's pretty totally mental.
What you saw was Branimir grab the hand of Emmy, and then kind of slowly his words as he was speaking it kind of slow down and trail off, and almost in an instant you see his eyes kind of roll back in the back of his head. You see the whites of his eyes. You see Emmy. You see the whites of her eyes. And then 10 seconds later, you see them almost coming out of it and just sitting back into their proper postures instead of leaning forward over the table.
Yeah, I think Saoirse was probably still seeing this. She was probably half paying attention to the conversation because she would have still been scanning the room and watching the door. But as soon as they came back and she hears Emmy say "planar travel," she would look right at Emmy and say, "Yeah, what was that? Planar travel?"
Oh, well, so we took a minute to talk to Professor Vormund and just trying to figure out what might be going on with our royal lady friend. But we ain't gonna find the information we need in a typical sense. It looks like... Okay, so here's what's going on. And she explains how in 200 days it happens to be Tribus, or Heroes Day. And, accidentally kind of stumbles into the history that everyone already knows, and then catches herself. But then she says, whatever debt our friend might be talking about, it ain't going to be in the normal history books, but it might be in the Celeste library, which is going to involve a little traveling to get to.
And he said that wrong when he said that it's not the celestial plane. It's in the astral plane. Celeste is a location within the astral plane.
Astral plane. Okay.
Which all the other people are aware of.
Sadly.
Especially,
We're all familiar with astral plane travel.
They know somebody that's been there.
Yeah, man.
So then when she says it, then it's common to them.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I
they've
think
heard before.
it would slowly click with Saoirse. She's like, okay.
Oh yeah, we've heard of it.
Library?
No, the astral plane.
Roll a history check, Brent.
Oh my god. Well, my history isn't so bad.
Cam, you can roll that too.
Come on. Come on.
Saoirse too.
Well, damn it. He was hovering on an 18, but then it landed on a 4. God damn it.
I saw that too.
Saoirse and Cameo.
Imagine-
Roll. There you go.
They've been, but I have not.
20.
I've never traveled that far.
You there, honey?
With a 20, Saoirse,
They don't have to know that though.
You would remember someone else talking about the Celestial Library. Weiss. Weiss had made mention to it as being a part of almost like the truth tellers of the universe, in that kind of a sense. And him had been there one time before, and it was possible that the information, more information about the Illithids, the information that he got from about the Illithids was from the Celestial Library.
Okay. I think, yeah, with the recognition and everything's as Emmy's explaining everything, recognition slowly dawning on Saoirse's face. Weiss. I remember now, Weiss talking about this library, about being able to find information there, about the Illithids in particular, but it sounds like so many threads are converging on this place. If we can get there, I think it'll answer plenty of questions.
I think we can find a way. I've done some sorts of travel before, maybe not that far in particular, but, you know, I'm sure it can't be that difficult.
This new information, and especially at the words talking about Weiss, Boltzmann kind of snaps out of the trance that he's been in, and kind of the quiet in nature, and he starts looking and feeling around his body. He's feeling for something he doesn't find. I had a journal entry from Weiss. I think I left my book, not my main book, but I think I left another notebook in the room. Let's go check and see. Might be possibly information there.
Sounds good to me.
Anybody gonna go with Boltzmann to the room?
Emmy will go.
Okay.
Saoirse, I think, will stay and continue to watch the door, just in case. She's maybe being a little paranoid.
Okay. So Emmy, as you and Boltzmann go upstairs towards the room, you get to the third floor where the wing of rooms are, and you get to yours, and you grab the door handle, and when you grab the door handle, it's already open. You push it open, there's no lock, you ready your key, and as you go to move it, and as soon as you touch the door, it's unlocked.
Oh. Did I forget to... Was I the last one to leave? No, I wasn't the last one. Huh.
You see Boltzmann
Can I do...
stand up against the side of the door frame on the other side, instinctually grab for his firearm and pull it out this time. That is now in his hand.
She tries to give him he already seems a little trigger happy, so she tries to give him like an easy, relaxed kind of motion, but she's quiet. Can we do either perception or investigation? See if I can't hear someone in there, or...
Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception.
Okay. 16?
You kind of put your hand up to Boltzmann as he's grabbing his firearm already. Kind of put his hand up, put your ear to the door, and you don't hear anything. You push the door open the rest of the way, and it does look like the room has been tossed. You see drawers open on the cabinet that's there. You see your personal belongings. You go to your beds, where you had made your small little tent, and it has been broken down. The poles kind of snapped in half and pushed over as someone quickly went in and kind of grabbed and tried to find something. You see Boltzmann move over to his small stash of things. Nothing major, most of it on him. There were a few things that he had left. I had an extra notebook here with my things. Small journal. It's gone. It's not my main books, but it did have notes. Notes of yours. Small things. But enough that someone would have known it's mine.
Oh dear. Think this is connected?
He quickly goes to the windows, looks out, pulls the blinds shut. I think so.
Trying to see if I have anything. Does it look like the door was forced open? Like the lock was undone with a normal key, or that it was broken, or maybe magic?
Do an investigation.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Wow. 7.
Even with a +7 on a natural 1.
You look on the outside and the lock looks functional. It doesn't look like it's been tampered with in any way. It just looks like a normal lock.
Okay. I'll tell Boltzmann, she'll tell Boltzmann that it doesn't look like someone forced their way in, which either means they had the key or they were let in.
See Boltzmann, after a few moments of kind of moving around and looking and peeking around through blinds, and finally sitting down, putting his hands to his forehead, his other hand still with his firearm in his hand, no longer putting it away.
Will sit next to him. She was also peeking through her own stuff, making sure all of her stuff was still there. Is anything missing from her own belongings?
Roll another investigation check for your stuff.
Okay. Investigation. Do better. 15.
Doesn't look like anything was missing. Things have been kind of moved, and things have definitely been kind of searched through. You see one of the pillows, you had a pillow there that had been kind of ripped open, and the feathers have kind of now flown out the side as it was kind of dug through. The same with your blankets, not ripped open, but you can tell that it's been moved and kind of thrown to the side. Your tent pole's broken. Okay. Doesn't look anything stolen. You didn't leave a whole lot here, but it does look definitely ransacked.
So she'll sit down next to Boltzmann, and kind of give him another, his shoulder a squeeze. And she'll say, whoever this guy is, I'm sorry, I don't know him too good, but boy, he's something else. What would he want from that journal?
Something of mine. Maybe the right practitioners. You could find me, use it to scribe. Use it to find me with the right, again, magical persons. Can you call the others? Can You bring them up. Ask them to come up.
Are you gonna be all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
She kind of squints a little bit at him. Can you do an insight check? If she's not gonna like bolt out the window while we're not looking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wow, it's not my day today.
He looks fine. He looks composed, from what you can see.
Strangely composed. She'll give him another pat on the shoulder, and a squeeze on the shoulder. Say, all right, I will be right back. I'll be right back. Don't move. All right, I'll be right back. And she'll go down and go to the others and tell them, we have a situation in the room, y'all. Looks like somebody got nosy. And they took Boltzmann's book.
There's a quizzical look on Bran's face as he's still kind of recoiling from his little trip into the orb. But then his eyes narrow as Emmy's words kind of sink in. They what?
Somebody went through the room. They took his
and at
book. Not his name book, his little book that's got the information we need.
And at that, Bran leaps from his chair and immediately just dashes up the stairs.
Yeah. You get in and you do see Boltzmann sitting with his one hand on his forehead, the other hand, his firearm, sitting on his lap, but still holding it. Finger over the, not over the trigger, but over the guard. They took it, Brad. I had left a journal. It's gone. The door was unlocked when we came in. And they've gone through things.
Do you reckon it was Ironweaver?
Could be anyone, but... Yes.
God,
I don't think it was him. But it was someone with him. He wouldn't dirty his hands.
Well, what was in this book that was so important for it to be stolen?
It was inconsequential, really. Some spells from Emmy. Some notations. A new device. Thoughts. But the purpose, I believe, is that it was mine. They would be able to trace, to track within a certain range, know my whereabouts.
So simply by owning this book, they can divine where you are at all times?
It is mine. It has my thoughts. Certain magical practitioners will be able to trace, be able to locate me, scry on me, keep track. It's not what I want.
Damn it. Is there some way we can shield you from having them pry on you or track you down?
I have an idea. Bring the others up, please.
Yeah, Bran would nod and head back downstairs to usher everyone else back up into the room.
You get up there, and Boltzmann is now kind of slowly pacing in front of the door, hand still, one hand still with the firearm. As you guys get in, he kind of lets you sit down, holsters the firearm for the first time. Bran, I need you to do something. You'll probably not like it. I need to check something. Stand by this door. Don't let anyone in. Don't let anyone out. I'll let you know when it's clear.
Is everyone else in the room?
I went with it. Everybody else make it
I
there?
was gonna
Yeah,
say
Saoirse
that.
would have followed
was-
up as soon as.
Okay. Cameo, you there?
Me wouldn't have left the room initially after coming back.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, with all of you in the room, he would tell Branimir to watch the door. You need to check something and let you know when it's clear.
So he wants Bran to step out of the room
No,
and
he
just
wants you to
basically stand at the door.
He is going. I need to check something. Stand
okay.
by
All right.
until I get back. I'll let you know when it's clear.
Okay. Bran would kind of give Bolton a funny look, but do as he says.
And you roll an insight check.
Oh man. Oh, okay. No, actually, not a bad insight score here. Come on. My God, it is not a good time tonight.
As he opens the door, he takes one hand, puts it on your shoulder. Please, promise me, no one in or out. And shakes it just a tad bit. Thank you. He looks around the room one time, and he steps out into the hallway, shuts the door behind him. What do you guys do?
The
Can I
hell do you think that
cast-
was all about?
Sorry. I don't know. He I don't know y'all as well as I suppose he does, so I can only assume it's whoever this Iron Weaver guy has really got to him. I'm gonna go to the window, just kind of peeking out, and I want to cast detect magic and see if maybe I kind of mostly suspect that whoever got in here was allowed in here, especially if it was like someone like Iron Weaver who's so well connected. But just in case, I want to cast detect magic and see if magic was used, maybe.
So you can cast detect magic. Detect magic doesn't detect previous magic. It only detects items that are magical, or yeah, it's only for it's basically for items. It's basically to be able to find items that are magical or emitting some sort of magical imbued power. So it wouldn't.
It says. Well, it says for the duration you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object. Oh, that bears magic.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But yeah, you do look around. You do see things that are magical, but it's what you've seen when you've cast this before. You've seen magic imbued into the different armors and the different weapons and those types of things that would be visible to you. You don't see anything around the door itself. You don't see anything around the windows itself. Nothing that shows a magical presence.
Okay. Is she just... Oh, Dante is still back at the Coliseum?
Actually, is there a roll for detect magic?
There is.
Go ahead and roll
Well,
that.
no, it's just casting.
Oh, it's just a cast?
Yeah. Because it's not an attack or anything, it's just an action to cast it.
Roll a perception check as you detect magic.
Okay. Perception. Do better. 22.
With a 22, you take a look around. You see the glows of the different items that are on your person, on Branimir, and on the other members of the party. You also see in the corner a small glow. It's detecting something in the corner of the room. There's nothing that you can see as far as actually visibly looking, but you do see a glow in the corner of the room.
Immediately she wonders, what type of magic is it?
Hold on. I will tell you.
Now she wonders if it's some kind of
Divination.
spying.
Divination.
Is it an arcane eye? Or something like that?
You don't see anything. You just see this essence of magic that seems to be in the corner. As you kind of look up at it, you see it kind of move to one side, and kind of, as you kind of track with it, it kind of tracks. It kind of moves from one corner to the kind of the middle of the room, but it does not. You see it kind of move a little bit as you kind of look around and look directly at the source, and as it moves, you kind of track it, and it kind of continues to move back, and then a moment later it disappears.
She voices a thought out loud that she thinks that we might have been spied on. As her eyes were it looks like she's not really looking at anything, but she was tracking this floating divination magic thing.
Yep.
She says, "I've got a spell in my repertoire. I can do a little bit of spying too, and I wonder if it might be something similar." That's all she's got to say.
Okay. So, anyone else doing anything else as Boltzmann leaves?
Sirsha would have been while Boltzmann left, and Emmy was starting to cast her spell. Sirsha, hearing that somebody had been in the room, she would have been looking around to see if whoever it was had accidentally dropped anything. If there's any clue as to who it would be.
Okay. Roll an investigation as you diligently look around, seeing if there's anything left over, any traces of anyone being there.
8, so yeah.
Yeah, you don't find anything that any of the other ones haven't seen. Anything that was left was kind of moved around and definitely shaken, ransacked, but nothing gone except for the item, the journal that Boltzmann had. So you guys are waiting in the room?
Bran is just doing as Boltzmann has told him, and he's guarding the door and making certain that nothing comes in or out.
Emmy's looking out the window after just kind of looking at the fanfare of the city and waiting.
An hour passes. 2 hours pass.
An hour?
3 hours pass.
She's curious now. Now there's a problem.
About almost 4 hours pass, and there's a knock on the door, and it begins to open. Anybody doing anything?
Can Bran press his hand against the door to stop it from opening?
Yes, you do that. You snap it closed. On the other side, you said, "Mate, what's wrong?"
Bran doesn't respond.
That was Dante.
Does
by
it
the
sound
way.
like somebody?
It sounds
Oh.
like Dante.
I'm sorry.
That's
That
totally
sounded like
Dante.
somebody-
It's not Dante
Oh
at
my
all. It's not Dante
I'm
at all.
sorry. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I had no idea that was Dante.
I used the word mate, and I thought everyone assumed it was Australian. But yeah, you hear Dante and behind the table knocking on the door. Something wrong, Brad? Should I leave it? You forgot to put the sock on the door.
Bran still keeps the door shut. He still keeps the door shut, but he kind of calls back to Dante. I can't let you in. Boltzmann says I can't.
Okay, I'll be downstairs. Bye. he walks downstairs.
He's not even going to question it.
Okay. Another hour passes. By the time you guys had made it back from the King's Battle, it was probably about 1 or 2. It is now, you look out the windows and you see the sun's starting to fade in the distance, going down over the buildings, the civilization around you. 5 o'clock.
It's been too
Alright.
long.
This is way. I'm not going to sit here and just do absolutely nothing. There are things to do. We already lost sunlight. What are we doing, Bran?
We're trusting in Boltzmann. I don't know what he has in mind, but
You're going.
Emmy, do you have any way of figuring out where you all of you were talking what? And you said something about I've been wondering spying. You think someone was spying on us?
I do. When I did I was looking to see if maybe there might have been some magical means to get in the room, just in case it wasn't a matter of just being let in, because the door didn't look forced, and I saw this little bit of magic still hanging out in the room, some divination magic. I got a spell sort of similar that can sort of spy. It was just floating about the room.
Okay. Huh.
It was starting in the corner
who
over
would-
here.
Yeah.
Well,
as soon as you made
maybe.
eye contact with it, it moved. Try to avoid your gaze.
Yeah.
It's
Well, maybe
not
we
an
can
animal.
worry.
What is it?
No, not a creature, just a spell. It's trying not to be detected, and I detected it, so it poof.
All right, so I'm just a little confused here, Branimir, and she turns to Branimir. Can you explain to me why we're going to be trusting Boltzmann? You know he's a ticking time bomb anytime he sees that murderous slag.
yes, that's true, but I'm willing to believe that he's probably the smartest one out of all of us combined. Sorry,
He
Emmy.
is- Well,
With all due respect.
Huh. You
No,
see a thing
I'm-
or two.
I'm sure that he is, but from our experience with Boltzmann, he is super smart, but he is also a ticking time bomb. And yes, on the outside he seems completely fine, but on the inside, too many demons. Too many demons.
But he always has a plan. Sorry, my
think
accent changed there. Woo.
Garrett?
God damn, God damn it, hon. Yeah, I'm sorry. Whoops.
All right. Well, the lot of you can just wait here. I'm gonna go look for him.
I'm going with you.
Wait, before you do, Emmy, you said you have a spell that allows you to spy. Could you figure out where Boltzmann is so that you don't have to search for him? And we could all just go right there?
Not quite. I ain't got that kind of spell. My spell's more like this one where you leave it in a corner and see what's going on. So if we knew where he was, we wouldn't have to approach. We could just plop it out there, you know what I mean?
Which spell do you have?
Arcane Eye.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So I'd have to be able to place it, basically, within 30 feet of me. And then I can sense everything going on in that area.
Do you have scrying?
I don't. I think I might be a higher level than I have.
It's 5th level.
But I do have Locate Creature.
What's the range on that?
Well,
What's the what?
What's the range on that?
That's a great question. Oh, within 1,000 feet. After 5 hours, he's long gone by now.
Well, assuming he stayed within the city.
1,000 feet? I mean, if we walk around and suspect where he might be, but...
well,
Do you have to be stationary? No, sorry.
No, Locate Creature's a concentration spell up to an hour, so you could be mobile.
Oh, there you go. You just have to jog.
Wait, Bran, don't you have that ring that No Tree gave you?
You mean the Ring of Sending?
Yes. Could you try, as long as Boltzmann's willing to respond, couldn't you try contacting him and seeing where he's at?
I most definitely could, but again, like you said, that's assuming he wants to be heard or heard from. And with that, I think, yeah, Bran would at least attempt to communicate with Boltzmann.
Okay. What do you say?
Could he send, it's 20 words, correct?
25.
25, okay. Boltzmann, we're still in the room. Are you okay? That's 9. Wait, let me add, where are you?
The response you get is, thank you, Brad. You can go downstairs.
And with that, a bit of a... Bran releases a sigh of relief, and he relays the message to the others. It would seem he's waiting downstairs.
I'll believe it when I see it. Camille just moves towards downstairs.
Okay.
Bran opens the door for everyone.
And you make your way back downstairs into the main open area of this, the boar's nest. You see Dante chatting with someone you have no clue who is, but a female of sorts.
Buxom maid.
A female at another table, sitting with him, with her. You see a few open tables. You do not see Branimir. You do not see Boltzmann.
I knew it.
bloody bastard. Absolutely up and left, did he?
There's a few moments. You kind of look around. After a moment or two, you make eyes with the bartender who sees you, Bran, and walks over with a piece of paper that's folded in half. This is from your friend. He left in a hurry.
Bran accepts the note and I guess he unfolds it. What does he see? What does it say?
You see a letter. It says, "To my brother Bran, there was a time, seemingly only weeks ago, when I felt my life was worthless. But you and the rest of the party foolishly crossed all of Tribus and stared down a bloody dragon just because all of you thought my life had value. For that, I thank you. Bran, my past keeps trying to catch up with me. If I stay, I have no doubt that the party would be selflessly want to jump in and save my skin again. Ironweaver has killed. He has no problem erasing mistakes like me. And he currently has olive armor on his side because of the uniform that he wears. I can't bring the group down that road just for what I have in mind. Especially not when there are higher stakes with the Illithids and the Shadow Queen. I have to leave. Don't worry. I now value my life well enough not to face him alone. I won't let my past cause the group harm. Since that bastard only wants me, the further I am from Ironweaver, the safe everyone will be. It'll be better this way. I'm sorry, friend. Keep going. Find out how to stop the Shadow Queen and make this world a safer place for everyone. I'll be doing my own things to help with this crisis. I will see you again, Brad. Take care, and always remember, stay sharp. Say goodbye to Addie and the others for me. P.S. On my own, I will need to use your armor enhancements. Not today, but soon. Plan accordingly. Boltzmann.
You see Bran's grip on the note tighten as he kind of mumbles to himself, "God damn you, Boltzmann." And he almost angrily passes the note to the nearest person next to him, and he stomps off.
Camia will grab the note and watch Bran, and just to spare a bit of time, looks over at Emmy and Saoirse and motions them to move forward enough so that she can read it out loud so that the both of them can hear it.
Emmy will move closer. She already suspects what it might say, but she wants to hear it for herself.
Honestly, I'm more offended that he only gave this letter to Bran. Joking aside, he just up and left.
How far could you, well, I mean, if everyone has their things they gotta do, I and she's like decidedly less, like it's very clear she's trying to keep that same chipper attitude, but there's something about it that's incredibly bothersome. She's gonna, gosh, I'm trying to think how realistic it is. It's been hours and hours. Like, who knows how far he could be by now. Do you suspect he left the city already? Just well off?
What do you think, Saoirse?
Well, he said he wanted to get as far away from Ironweaver as possible. Ironweaver's in the city. I'm guessing he's gone. And you can see she's got a look of kind of, I'd say, almost understanding. You know, she probably of everyone, she's probably the most calm, and just kind of nodding she was nodding as Camille was reading the letter, reading the note. He did what he felt he had to do.
Well, it's most unfortunate that he feels that he needed to remove himself from the party, but at least he didn't need to deceive us and put us all in one room. But then, of course, I understand that, because then all of us would try to make him stay. However, well, I'm going to try my best and see if I can track him down. And she hands the letter over to Saoirse. Both of you can go ahead and tell Dante what has happened. I will return when I can, right?
Saoirse would take the note and... Oh, yes. If you can find him, great. If not... Well, we'll see. Return when you can, and be safe.
Oh, I always am.
So as Camille leaves, that's where we're going to take our first break. Our only break, but we'll take our break. As long as I figured out how to do this in OBS. And we are back. Hello, hello.
Hello.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get back into it, want to thank you for the follow. B123INL355. I don't know what that means. I probably said something. I don't know.
It's a radio call sign.
Is it? Really? Like a ham radio?
Sounds like it.
Well,
My grandfather used to do that, and he
10
sounds
for there,
almost
good buddy.
exactly like it.
And
And 9LUG.
What's your 20 there, good buddy? Okay. So, thank you for the follow. Yeah. We appreciate all the support here on Twitch. So, as we get back into this, yeah, what are you guys doing? You guys have, Bran, you kind of stepped out. Did you step out of the tavern, or did you go back upstairs, or just step to the side?
He stepped out of the tavern, actually, to get his mind off of things. He kind of makes his way over to the stable where Addie and Dante's two donkeys are, and he'll kind of wrap the little leash around Addie that he's starting to realize is getting a little too tight for her. And he takes her out for a walk while he's just grumbling to himself.
Okay. Camille, you said you were gonna go try to look for Boltzmann.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yes. So she rushed out, and she's actually looking for Bran, and I don't know if she'll be able to find him. Do you think she
Sure.
can spot
I'm
him?
sure by the time you step out, you'll have crossed paths with him, because he just went over to the stable to fetch Addie.
Yeah, the stable's behind the place. I'll say that you guys left not too far behind each other, so you guys would have. You were looking for Bran, you would have known to check where Addie was. So.
Okay, so she will check, and she does spot Bran. I'm just thinking that she does, and jogs over to him. Going for a little walk, are we?
Trying to see if I can see Boltzmann if he's still out there.
On foot?
I've got Addie here.
Well, if Addie can fly, you can come join me.
Bran kind of gives Camiel a look, and then he kind of glances over at Addie to see how her... Because owlbears do... I don't know if that's a Pathfinder variant, but don't they have like little wings? Like little tiny wings, like little chicken wings?
Chicken wings.
Yeah,
Little chicken
depending
wings.
on the variant, I believe so. I believe that it's more, well, I think it's more just artist rendition where it's kind of got a wing when they're sitting up and kind of more like a hoof when they're down.
Yeah.
You can kind of you see Addie kind of sit back on her back legs, and you see her belly kind of plop out. You see her as she's getting bigger. Kind of push her wing or push her arms out a little bit, but then
Winnie the Pooh.
tuck them right back in, kind of next to her belly.
No.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Well, just give me one moment. She closes her eyes and she whispers, Ethion.
And when you do that, you see this red swish across the night sky, or the darkening sky. It's about 6:30 or so. The sun has just gone down, and the light just fading out. You see the lights of the city about coming into place. You see this red streak across the sky, and kind of swoop down. Now standing 8-foot wide wings across, kind of touches down with one foot and then the next, and then stretches her arms out as full as they can, and then stretches them back out. Tucks them back in. Roll an animal handling check for me, Bran, as this creature just flopped down in front of you and your owlbear.
Ruh-roh.
What have you done?
I'm
Scared
sorry.
my little girl.
It lets out
animal
this,
handling.
You just hear this loud screech from the phoenix. And with 11, you see Addie kind of, all at once, kind of move to the other side of the wagon, kind of hiding more in the corner for just a moment, and then as it plops down, as the phoenix kind of sits down next to you, and you see it kind of poke its kind of head out a little bit from the debris in the back, and kind of poke out and look, kind of keeping an eye on you.
No. Oh, baby. Be still. This is a friend.
And Atheon again releases its wings out full and lets out another screech. Slightly different pitch.
Okay. Yeah,
pulling them back
Camille
in.
will give Ethion's chest a bit of a pat, like a strong pat, and looks at Bran. I'm going to take flight, and I'm going to try and see if I can spot him. But there are no promises.
Bran is...
Go ahead.
What the hell is this thing?
It is not a thing, it's... I'm offended, she says jokingly. This is my companion. It's a gift from Sister Ava. This is Ethion. Ethion, this is Branimir.
When Bran just like shakes his head and he waves it off. He's done questioning things at this point, being inside of a crystal ball, having lost and actually being duped by Boltzmann, and now a phoenix appearing before him, seemingly a legendary creature, a mythical creature that is rarely ever seen and only told in history books. He's done trying to understand things.
It drops its head slightly at you as it kind of takes a small little bow towards you at Camille's introduction.
See? Very cordial.
Bran kind of cranes his neck a little bit in a a short bow as well.
Alright, well, I would ask you to come join me, but I don't think Ethion here would enjoy that very much. Ethion is a gift from Sister Eva, and I was thinking that you would be able to ride Ethion and I would be able to take flight. But the only thing that I can do for both of us right now is take flight and see if I can spot him, and maybe I could just talk to him if I spot him, but no promises. He's probably far gone from now. I know that you're feeling tons of things right now, and I can only try, Bran. I'm so sorry that you've lost another friend.
Seems to be a habit.
Camiel makes a face, kind of like a child who doesn't know what to say, so she kind of her nose twitches a little bit and she wiggles her mouth. Well, I'll be back as soon as I can, I promise.
Understood, Cameo. You watch yourself out there.
Oh, people should watch themselves. I'm just saying. She's saying that she's clumsily trying to get on the Phoenix.
It kind of dips down a little bit, and then you kind of overshoot it a little bit, and you kind of go off to the other side, and then kind of right yourself.
Woo, okay.
It's like one of those, what are those birds? Shoebill. The ones that you gotta the ones that... God damn it. Ryan in editing. Show a picture of a shoebill.
What a shoebill is? Like an emu?
It's one of those huge, like, prehistoric looking birds that, like,
okay.
you, in order to approach them, you have to bow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it makes
They're
this
very-
weird noise.
No,
It's actually
I
inspired by... Actually, in Harry Potter, Buckbeak is actually inspired by the shoebill.
I love it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, they're very friendly, but
Thank
they're
you, editor.
So, Cameo, which way are you leaving? As you kind of, Bran, you see her kind
man.
of take off into the air. From the way that it's coming in, you see this red glow that's kind of igniting and out of this bird's chest. And as it comes in, it's there. It tones down a little bit, and as it leaves, you see this red is not as visible as the blues and the ambers that are kind of trailing off behind this, as you see it almost streaking across the sky as Cameo takes off 10, 15 now over the side of the building and away. Cameo, which way do you think you're going to go? You can either
God
roll
damn
roll a survival check.
Oh, Jesus Christ on the cracker. It's survival. Oh. Okay. Come on, please. Please. Oh, 13.
0 in survival. Okay. So you begin. Actually, roll a perception check as well. That's the direction.
On
That's the
advantage?
direction. It's the direction where you're going. Perception for you. Roll a natural, or roll a regular perception for you, and then.
Okay.
Is there perception for the? It has a passive. Atheon has a passive perception of 13.
It's a 21 perception. It's actually pretty impressive. Jesus.
Yeah. So when you first take off, you kind of get above the tops of the buildings, and you realize you don't know which way to go. You just have
Aimless.
no clue which way to go. So you circle for a moment, think about it, and you pick a direction. And as you go across, you take off towards the east, and you begin scanning, kind of out the same way that you came in, back up the national highway, the national road there, the King's Road. It's going up and north. You start following it for a little bit, and you start looking very intensely at what's going along the trail. You have a fly speed of 60 feet.
I believe so.
Yeah. You have a fly speed of 60, so you can definitely see, people walking along the road, and you're moving much faster than any of them. Soaring kind of over. You're taking a very detailed look at everything. Every time you see someone walking alone, you kind of lower yourself, get lower, get close enough so that you can see. Make sure that you're got a good look at who it is, but you do not see Boltzmann. There was one time where you see someone hood drawn, walking by themselves, and you think it's them. They just have this candor about them, but you get close enough to actually look at their face. The pool kind of almost in front of them and swoop in front, shocking them backwards. But when you actually get a look at their face, it is not Boltzmann.
God damn it. Oh, this bastard. I mean, at this point, like, Camiel is well, she's a little hard-headed. The girl's hard-headed, so she's gonna keep trying, but she constantly checks on Ethion and make sure that she's not abusing this precious little thing that she had just been gifted by searching for someone who doesn't want to be found. She'll search one more time, and if there is absolutely no sign, then she will stop her search.
You keep going. You made it at least an hour outside of town before you see this one person that you think looks like them. It's not them. You can continue on, go for another half an hour. The people on the road are thinning. You see a campsite, but the campsite has multiple people. You continue forward. Less and less people on the road just because of the time of day it is. And as it keeps getting darker and darker, you see less and less people until you finally, about another hour passes, and you're now 2 hours outside of Ropeburg. You're almost near the last place that you camp before coming into town, and you still have not seen anything that looks like Boltzmann.
That's very unfortunate. At that, she allows Ethion to land a little bit and kind of. I don't know if this animal entity, whatever Ethion is, needs a bit of rest. I'm not sure. This is a celestial entity, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so even still, like, she still want the animal to rest a little bit, and she gets off of Ethion, and she's looking in both sides of this, let's just say, a road, and just a few minutes later, she just stops looking and shakes her head, looks at Ethion, and kind of tells him, well, if people don't want to be found, it's hard to find them. Isn't it, Ethion?
He lets out a screech.
Alright, boy. Good job. Now, let's go back. It's getting late. Think you can do that for me?
See him. You kind of feel him kind of. Are you guys are still sitting, or you guys are still riding?
We are on the ground. We're
Okay.
just resting at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, you do hear him screech out. Kind of pops out his chest again. Gives another screech.
Okay.
Lowers himself again. For you to get on.
And Camille, hops on top and back into the skies on their way back. God damn it, Boltzmann! You piece of shit!
And eventually you make your way back. Not for a while. Taking about 4 hours. Coming back about 10:30 at night. What is everybody else doing in the tavern?
Emmy had distracted herself almost immediately, going back up to the room and just cleaning everything up, and especially fixing her little tented area. So she's been there, and probably when she did sort of fix it up with whatever time she had left, because she's not sleeping, she's probably copying finishing copying a spell into her book. One of the ones that Boltzmann gave her.
Yeah. Saoirse, you're on the main floor.
Yeah. I think Saoirse would have gone to the bar, ordered a drink, and basically lifted it up, kind of imagining toasting to. She would have been toasting to Boltzmann and wishing him well.
Dante joins you on that, seeing. Actually, gets the drinks ahead of you and brings them back to the table for you and him.
Well, and she'd probably check and would have filled him in if he, when he hadn't known as well. She would have gone to let him know the situation. And then, would have toasted Boltzmann with him.
After a while, you guys are drinking. Kind of try to normalize yourself, your mindset a little bit. You get kind of an itch in the back of your head. You've been rolling these super high perception checks all night. As you're watching the tavern, you think to yourself, there's more people coming in than there is people here in this room.
She would mention something to Dante and ask if he's noticed anything strange about how many people seem to be coming in without people leaving, and compared to how many people are apparently standing in the room.
Dante's got a high passive. I'm gonna roll for him too. Dante rolled a 4. So he's
drunk.
Yeah, he's definitely not as focused in on you kind of went into sentinel mode there for a little bit, and kind of were watching the doors and the things. Much harder than he was. You begin to notice that there's an area, there's a large main bar area, and then you see, the open space of the tavern. That's the big open room. You see the seats that are above you on the second level that kind of wrap around the outside of this room, you do see every once in a while. You notice that you see somebody kind of disappear behind the bar. There's a wall there. You've not been over in that area, but you just noticed that there's seems to be an area where people are kind of disappearing, and you're not seeing them coming out on the other side. You're not seeing them there. It's almost like you're not quite sure what's in that general area, but whatever it is, it doesn't fit the floor plan of what you know in your head the building to be.
Yeah, she's curious and wants to find out what's back there. She's hesitant to.
As you kind of look around, you look up to the door, you see Dante kind of move along and kind of join a different table, strike up a conversation as he does, as he is wont to do. You notice you start to move towards that area and this kind of this spot where you see these people are. You've noticed this in the past, and the barmaid that's behind the counter. Can I ask you? Can I help you with something?
Oh, I was just curious. What else do you have? I've been drinking this one beverage, this one kind of meat, and I was wondering what else you happen to have handy that maybe you keep. Do you have something special, local in the back?
In the back. Hold on 1 second. And she walks over to one of the other barmaids. As you roll a perception check.
Okay, perception coming right up. Okay, hopefully the dice gods are still with me. 20.
Standing this close to the bar, you've not noticed this before, but you definitely notice it now, is you do hear some cheering going on that does not seem to be matching the murmur that is currently there. It's hushed. It seems to be removed, but you definitely hear something. The barmaid comes back up to you and yes, if you're interested, we do have some special services for special clients. Are you here for King's Battle?
Oh yes, my companions and I, we're here more so as observing. We were watching earlier. A friend of ours, her fiance, happened to be fighting as a member of the King's Guard.
I see.
So we were up in the VIP section with them, and it was a wonderful, wonderful battle this morning that we witnessed.
There is a special cost associated with this special service.
Yeah, and what would that be? Just out of curiosity.
It's she looks around. 1 platinum entry. She leans forward.
You've piqued my interest, and Saoirse would pull out the platinum and slide it across the bar.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Right this way. And as she motions towards this, kind of just on the other side of the bar, where it looks like this empty space, looks like almost a storage space. She points you towards the space. Just keep going forward. Watch your first step.
Thank you. And Saoirse would go in the direction that she was pointed.
You reach out towards this, what you see as a wall, and your hand goes through it. It's not there. There's nothing there. As you kind of pull forward and look down, you see a large stone steps leading into a area below. It's dark. There's not a whole lot of light, but you do hear the kind of cheers and jeers coming from this area now that you've stuck your head past this invisible barrier.
Yeah, so she would go ahead and proceed down and kind of definitely back into Sentinel mode a bit. She's not quite sure what to expect. But she would go ahead and head down the steps.
Okay. As you follow this staircase down, it kind of goes to a lower level of this basically underneath this bar. Everything is kind of stone and cut stone around you, rough edges everywhere as you continue down into this basement cellar area. You look to your right, and it kind of opens up into a large area, a large open space. In the middle is a wooden wall that goes up just about 4 feet tall. Openings in the middle, and you see crowds of people sitting up above on raised platform about halfway up. The distance that you came down, about halfway up, you see this raised platform that goes up and around. 2 wooden platforms on both sides, looking into a wooden, almost square area where you see 2 people that are in combat at the moment. You see one half-elf warrior, fully blazoned with full armor, with a axe, going against this dwarf with kind of big tattoos across his entire body, kind of not rags as so much as kind of leather skins and rough armor across his, with an axe as well. And you see them kind of sitting across the corners from each other until you see someone wave a flag, make a I'm sorry, not wave a flag. You see somebody take a large metal gong onto the side, hit it once, and they begin to come at each other and swirl as the crowd above you begins to cheer.
She would head over. She'd probably, looking around, she would see if she could find a place to sit nearby.
Mm-hmm. You do see some platforms on both sides that are like wooden platforms that are raised kind of above the pit, with the overview of the pit itself. As you walk past it, near the front gate that leads into this pit, you see a scorecard. You see a piece of chalkboard with names written. You see one name on the left-hand side, one name on the right-hand side, all the way down into the bottom, where you see one name on the left-hand side and no name on the other. And then above it, it says, "Sign up here."
Oh, what the hell. Yep, Saoirse, she's like, yeah, kind of been itching for something to do. The others are kind of coping with Boltzmann's departure in their own ways, so she would go ahead and look around, see if there's anybody there she needs to speak to sign up, but otherwise she would go ahead and put her name on there herself.
It looks like everything here is kind of run at your own risk. The sign-up board is just a chalkboard with a piece of chalk hanging by a piece of string attached to it. There seems to be no nobody's serving drinks, no one doing anything like that. It seems to be at your own risk and completely on your own, as far as betting, as far as joining in any kind of any kind of way. Seems to be at your own pace. So are you signing up?
Yeah, she'd go ahead and sign up. What the hell?
All right. After a while, you find a space upstairs, and you're able to watch the first match that you see a second match, another match of similar kind of proportions, if you will. Then the one person that had run the gun before calls out your name.
She'd go ahead and walk over to the ring.
Go ahead and place your...
Let's see.
Oh no.
I love everything about this.
Hey, we all cope in our own ways, right?
Oh yeah.
Discombobulate.
You hear the name called out. Warvale Shatteriron! And you see this dwarf with a large warhammer step into the ring, tap it down on the ground as he is announced. You hear a couple of people clapping from the rafters above. And then you hear your own name called. Sirsha? Is it Lavore, correct? I'm sorry, I'm a bad DM.
Lorelia. Yeah.
Varelia. See, I'm a bad DM. Sirsha Lavaria. Puta. You hear your name called, and a few people clap, and you make your way down into the fighting pit. Go ahead and select your token and roll for initiative. Let me.
Okay.
I'm streaming, so hold on. I have to stream things.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and let you bring up the initiative tracker. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll get the same type of rolls for initiative as I've been getting for perception. And no worries. Yeah. I went ahead and just rolled initiative, even though the tracker isn't there, since I know we should be able to just plug it in. So yeah, I will take that roll too.
Overlay. And we're going to describe it as we go. Okay. The 20 on initiative. Wonderful.
There. Yeah, I can go ahead and re-roll and then so
No,
that
I can add
get
turn.
me on the. Oh, okay, great. So I'll go ahead. Voila.
All right. No. That's not. Okay, so as you see this dwarf come out, you kind of lock eyes for a second, and you start. What are you doing? You hear the gong. You
Okay.
get the jump on him. So what do you do?
Yep. So I am going to let me just double check the amount of. So she is going to bonus action Hunter's Mark. Just kind of eyeing this guy. And she'll use, first level spell slot for that, because it really doesn't make a difference for her damage wise. And then she's going to take, because actually I just realized crap. The other thing I was thinking about doing, you'll have to wait till next turn, because Hunter's Mark is a first level spell, not a cantrip. So I can't cast another spell. So she's going to take 2 shots at
That's
this
a bonus
guy
action.
with a bow.
Hunter's Mark is a bonus action, so you can cast the spell.
Yeah, but I thought you could only do a cantrip. If you cast a spell, a first level spell or higher, you can only cast a cantrip as well.
I would say for our rules, or if the casting sign says bonus action and the regular spell says regular
Then
action, I would allow the
Then
regular
that's
action
fine.
and then the bonus action. As long as the spell says bonus action, you'd be able to cast it anyway.
Versus action.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, well, in that case, then she is going to run to the center and cast Cordon of Arrows, planting the 4 arrows into the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure I did that. So that's a second level slot as well. And then she is going to... Actually, let me go ahead and bring that up on the... Woo. Something like that. Yeah, that should be about the right size, I think.
Yep.
Let me just double check the size on that. That should be...
Yeah, 30 feet. It's 30 feet from the
Yeah,
center,
30-foot rate.
Yeah, it covers the entire thing.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so she is then going to... Ah, crud. Here's the only problem. Now I need to figure out how to send it to bring myself back to the 4. So I can move... Crud. Basically what I'm going to do is going to move... She's going to run back. There we go. It was planted, something like that. Run back to the corner she was in. And since that was her... That would be her action.
I locked that out, so that's where you've cast it.
Oh, so I should be able to...
Yeah, you should be able to
Okay,
select your
good.
token.
Yep, I can... Okay, great. Yep, I got it. And hopefully... Yeah. And that, yep, that is her action then.
You see this dwarf in front of you kind of run forward.
Oh, and he's going to have to, I think since he started his turn... Let's see...
Yep,
He
he'll
comes
take the
within 30
coordinate
feet. Yeah. Yep, so he'll have to make a DC 13 Dex save.
and he saves.
Okay. In which case, yep, that will expend 1 arrow.
No damage if he saves.
I am just double checking that. Nope, no damage. It's basically hit or miss.
Okay. He will. Put together. Okay. He will charge forward, moving to about 10 feet from you, and we'll cast what? He will cast Hypnotic Pattern on you. As you look towards him, you see him kind of move his hands a little bit, kind of taking the warhammer in one side and moving his hands in a circular pattern, and you see the color begin to weave across from you. Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, one quick... Is this against being charmed?
Yes.
Or is this against... Okay, it's charmed, not fright, not fear.
Yes, it's charmed.
Okay, 14.
You saved.
Oh, okay. Whew.
Saved against his hypnotic patterns. And then he will move. All his movement, he can't get to you. He will cast again. Let's see. Are you within 15 feet of him? Yeah. He will cast Thunder Wave. So you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay,
As you
con
see
save
this
coming up.
kind of moving out with the hand that went to go and cast patterns on you, seeing it fail, he kind of pushes it down with all of his force. You see this thunderous wave of energy kind of pass before you and pass. Let's see. And you fail that, so you take 2d8 thunder damage. You take 8 damage, and then you are pushed up against this back wall. Yeah. And then are you marked? You hear this large booming sound coming from underneath, almost feeling like an earthquake as you see the small little stones around you kind of move around as well. Your go.
Okay, so with that, she is going to draw 2 arrows, and one right after the other. Take 2 shots at the guy. 21 and a 25.
Both hit.
Okay, and then Hunter's Mark.
Actually, the 21 does not hit.
Okay, well, I'll just make sure.
Actually, yeah, it does. Never mind, because it is the armor class, so you hit it.
Oh, okay. Here, let me hit Hunter's Mark again then. Okay, so that's going to be 10, 11. Yep, let me make sure I'm doing the math right. Yep, okay, that is going to be 20 piercing damage. And yeah, and then let me think. Yeah, she is going to. There's really not much she can do movement-wise. She's stuck in the ring. So, yep, that is going to be her action. That's going to be my action, because movement isn't going to make a difference from what she can see.
Yeah. Okay. He moves forward to next to you and begins swinging his large warhammer. The first one misses, glancing off the side of the rocks. He swings again. This time connecting.
That's a hit. Yep.
This time connecting. Roll for damage. Taking 13 damage as he kind of plows the end of this warhammer into you, and he kind of laughs in your face. What are you doing? Let's just go.
Okay. Yeah, that's his turn?
Yep.
Okay, with that... Oh, and he's going to have to make a dex save.
Okay.
For the cordon of arrows.
He fails.
And
He'll take damage on that.
Okay. Yep. So it's going to be 1d6. So 3 piercing. You go ahead and just make. Yeah, and they're point blank. So she is going to, at this point, dropping her bow. She's going to grab her shield and draw her short sword, taking a swipe at the guy. Let me just bring that up. So, there we go. 16. Guessing that misses.
16 misses.
And then she's going to take a second swipe at him. 19.
19 misses as well.
Okay. And then... let me just double check. Yeah, and then that is going to be her turn. That is all I can do right now. I think. Actually, let me just do one thing. Yeah, that's it.
You see him kind of rear back again with his hammer. And takes 2 swipes with you. So the 11, the first swing glances off of you. The 23 hits.
Yep.
He'll roll damage.
23 hits.
He'll take 9 damage. And that's his turn.
And then Dex save again for the cordon of arrows.
Y'all. Failed.
Okay, yes, and so takes another 5 piercing damage. And Saoirse is going to she's going to maneuver herself around the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then take another 2 swipes at him with her short sword. Oh, I accidentally hit cordon of arrows. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Ignore that. Ignore that. There, short sword. No. Yeah, it's a 9 and a
misses.
13.
Yeah, they miss.
Yeah. And then... And she's just going to go ahead and bring her shield, kind of position herself and bring her shield up, ready. Have herself in a stance, ready for the guy's next swings.
Yeah, and he will take 2 more swings.
Yeah, 15 misses, but the 21 hits.
And roll damage. And 17 damage. And as he makes one more contact, hitting you in the chest, knocking you backwards again. Anytime you want to quit, little lady. It's your turn.
Yeah, she would just smile at him and go, well, anytime you want to quit. And she's going to take another swing at the guy with her short sword.
Mm-hmm.
22.
Connects. As you retort, you kind of parry and jab it into his kind of letting his guard down for a moment as he's kind of showing off. You kind of stab him really quickly into his gut. 10 piercing. Knocks the wind completely out of him.
Plus Hunter's Mark for slashing. So an extra 3 slashing. Or no, it is piercing. Short sword, yeah. Short sword, it's piercing. So make that 11. Sorry. Okay. And then I actually forgot. He would have needed to make another Dex save from the cordon of arrows.
Dex save. He passes that. The sheer adrenaline passing through. He scores he kind of dodges out of the way of the arrow as it kind of is drawn towards him. He moves out of the way.
Yeah, and that is actually that would be the last arrow from the cordon of arrows.
And you see his face go from this cocky, brazen kind of stance, and now he's taken a stab directly to the gut, and this extra damage that's being placed into him, and you see him kind of wince and kind of buckle over. He looks very hurt.
She's just looking at him. It's like I said, and she would take another swing. Yeah,
does she have
the 17?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she would have missed, and she would just say, "Yeah, you can back down anytime." Ooh,
he takes a swing back, catching his breath after the first one, resetting his feet, planting it, and then swinging one more time, fully hitting, giving you a full connection. Roll. Is there a way to roll crit damage? It's 1d8 plus 6, so it's double the dice, right?
Yeah. And that's it's
so it's 14. 1d8 plus.
So it should be, yeah. It's 1d8 plus 6, and it's just double the dice, so that's going to be, should be 22.
Yeah.
Whew.
How's Saoirse looking?
She is, she's rough. She is, oh no, wrong one. She is looking rough. Yeah, that hit definitely did it for her. She's just stopped.
You see kind of his face change again, and he kind of raises the hammer up again in more of a defensive stance. Your turn.
She's not one to back down. She's going to take another swipe. 17.
17 misses.
Another. 14.
14 misses.
Oh. I think, yeah, he could probably see she's definitely beat. She's rough. And that is her turn.
You see him kind of raise up the warhammer again after clinging off and parrying your blows with the sword. Coming back. He's going to pull it back, hit it one more time. He's going to grip it with both hands.
Okay, let's see the damage. She is down.
As the warhammer kind of swings back,
Yeah.
catches you, already wounded on your side. You kind of get hit again, and it kind of knocks you down, drops you to the ground. You lose consciousness. You hear the crowd kind of applaud and cheer, and then fade to black. For just a moment, as you kind of shake your head over, you kind of wake up. The dwarf body standing over you, kind of now shifting in 3 spots at one time. The dim light that is coming from around in this corner that you've been looking at is kind of seeing multiple locations at one time in your vision as you kind of shake it off and regain 1 hit point of consciousness.
Yep. I think if she would be looking up at this dwarf, shield probably still on her arm and sword laying beside her. She would just kind of give a little, as wobbly as she probably is from that hit, just kind of give a little salute to the dwarf.
You see from the dwarf kind of does after a while, kind of after being a little brash and kind of over celebrating almost to a point, because there's not a huge crowd here, but there's enough people where he's gotten into it and the adrenaline gets him going.
Yeah.
He eventually does turn around and kind of helps pick you up. Good show.
Yeah. She would definitely. She would gripping his wrist, kind of shake it, say, "Good hits."
As you see, as you stand up, you kind of takes a moment for you to kind of get your bearings, kind of clear the cobwebs a little bit before you start heading towards the exit of this pit that's there. You do see a few. You see a few soldiers that are up in the terrace area, that furthest one from you. You see a couple of soldiers that kind of clap a little bit as you kind of walk out, just giving you a little bit of a kudos for the fighting try.
Yeah, and she'd probably do, just kind of tap her breast or her chest at them, and having grabbed her short sword and longbow, and nod her head toward them as she heads back up the steps. Definitely, when the others see her, she knows they're going to be asking, "What the hell did you get yourself into?"
You sit down.
She's going to go up to the bar and order a drink.
You get your drink and you sit down. Dante sees you sitting at the table. Will end his conversation abruptly. Sit down at the table with you and say, "Saoirse, you look like shit, mate." And that is where we will end today's session.
Fight Club.
Yeah. What
That
are you
works
talking
well.
about?
A mini fight club in the basement of the Boar's
Yeah.
Nest.
Oh my
I
god.
hope Saoirse tells us about it.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't need to tell us. Just take a look at her face.
She's beaten and bruised from head to toe. She's got a nice big shiner where the warhammer and cross just barely gotten out of reach of her face and just clipped
my
her.
God.
Yeah, she's looking rough. Looking rough.
What? I want to play.
Yeah.
You, Emmy?
I-
No.
Oh,
No,
she just
she's not
needs
a
to throw
fighter. She
single
just wants to
lightning bolt.
see. She just
Yeah.
wants to see everyone. She's very curious about everything. She knows better than to fight herself. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, I had a feeling, it was close. Almost got the guy, but
This was
okay close quarters, but she's definitely better ranged.
Yeah,
better
once-
from a distance.
once he made the distance on you and kind of got you in the corner. You kind of
Yeah.
stuck.
Oh yeah, and a couple of those. That nat 20 is, I think, is
Oof.
definitely part of what
swung it.
that got her.
Swung it in the guy's favor. So, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been here for the last 3 hours watching us stream. Thank you for putting up with my bad directions and streaming. Ryan will be back next week. But overall, it was a very fun episode, very fun session. Thank you to all of our followers. Thank you for the supporters this week and every week for being here and being part of the show. If you missed any part of this episode, the VOD is immediately available on Twitch, but they will not stay there forever. If you want to catch up with any of our previous episodes of our campaign, the link to our YouTube is below. Search Black Dragon Roleplay and look for our big Dragon Eye logo. Last thing before we go, I want to take a moment and shout out to our players. In the info box below, you will see some links. Go and check out these wonderful people. Some of them have links to their Twitter account, like our now no longer with us, playing with us friend, Throwaway Doodles, Ellen. Go ahead and check him out. Great guy. Glad that he got a chance to be a part of the group for so long, and so sad that life gets in the way, but we do appreciate him, and hopefully he'll be back in the future when things kind of calm down in his life and makes time for us again. So,
Goodbye, Boltzmann.
Ellen, thank you very much for all the time, for the year or so that you spent with us. It's been a great having you in the party. RPG Theologian, who plays Rob. Yes. RPG Theologian, who plays Rob. Who plays Saoirse.
Yes.
Rob,
Feels
who
that way
plays
sometimes.
Saoirse. The Relentless Hunter. Aaron, who plays Branimir. Some who stream on Twitch, like Thumper Knox. Ryan, who was out with some stuff tonight, but will hopefully be back this week. Hopefully on Sunday, I think we're still doing something. Ryan, who plays Dante, and Yumi Segura. Tony, who plays Camiel. They stream right here on Twitch on a semi-regular basis, so go and drop them a follow. I watched part of Souls. What's it? Dark Souls 3?
Dark Souls?
Or what did you
Oh,
play?
fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I watched you play this
Yes.
week. That was fun. That was fun watching you play that.
Thank you.
And then
Thank you.
Brenna, who plays MEV, author and writing cheerleader here on Twitch, Tuesday to Saturday on Bryn Nailed It channel. I'm Brad, known as Monocle Moose on all platforms. Go check us all out. Give us some love. Drop us some follows. Please see the info box below. Click the links and say hi to us there. That wraps up this episode from us. Thank you very much for being here. We will see you here again same time next week. Same time, same Twitch channel. We love you very much, and goodbye.
Bye.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Oh, hell yeah. Bye.